Okay, hi everyone. Now, just gonna check my audio and make sure that I am streaming, and then I'm gonna share the stream, and then we'll get going. This will also give people a couple minutes to join. Today we're gonna be doing some vibe graphics. Think of those infographics, the short informational graphics, infographic. We're gonna use AI to augment them with Nano Banana 3 and VO3 and Gemini 3, the latest generation of AI technologies from Google. All through Gemini CLI, all through prompts. This is going to be a lot of fun. So let me just make sure that everyone can hear me. And then I'm going to start. All right, so. And that's because that's muted. Yeah, okay, so sound is good. Sound is good. And I'm here watching the live stream. So if you want to interact with me, that's very cool. Now, before I switch over my camera, if you'll just bear with me, I'm going to go ahead and let the world know that I'm doing this stream. This is impromptu because I'm having a lot of fun with this Vibe graphics, and I thought that here watching I would be able to stream. So if you want to interact with me, that's very cool. Make some Vibe graphics now, for your GitHub. Before I switch over my camera, if you'll just bear with me, I'm going to go ahead and let the world know that I'm doing this stream. This is impromptu because I'm having a lot of fun with this Vibe graphics. And I thought that here watching I would be able to stream. So if you want to interact with me, that's very cool. Make some Vibe graphics now, for your before I switch over my camera, if you'll just bear with me. I'm going to go ahead and let the world know that I'm doing this stream. This is impromptu because I'm having a lot of fun with this Vibe graphics. And I thought that here watching I would be able to stream. So if you want to interact with me, that's very cool. Make some Vibe graphics now, for your before I switch over my camera, if you'll just bear with me. I'm going to go ahead and to get my post here, so I'm going to say, this is impromptu because I'm having a lot of fun with this Vibe graphics. If I'm here watching, I would be able to stream. So if you want to interact with me, that's very cool. Make some Vibe graphics now, for your before I switch over my camera, if you'll just bear with me. I'm going to go ahead and to get my post here, so I'm going to say, this is impromptu because I'm having a lot of fun with this Vibe graphics. If I'm here watching, I would be able to stream. So if you want to interact with me, that's very cool. Make some Vibe graphics now, for your before I switch over my camera, if you'll just bear with me. I'm going to go ahead and to get my post here, so I'm going to say, this is impromptu because I'm having a lot of fun with this Vibe graphics. Alright, so now that that's all done, let me go ahead and start sharing my screen. All right, so all this is done inside of Gemini CLI. All right, so Gemini-CLI in YOLO mode. Gemini in YOLO mode. And I'm using this new project that I made. I'm going to need that because that's going to be my sample baseline project. So we're going to use this Vibe graphics project. Now to install this at home in your Gemini CLI, it's right here. Gemini extensions install. I'm going to clean that up a bit, but you can install this and do this on your own. So I'm going to need that Git repo. Now what I've done so far, I've made a couple pretty cool looking things. So this is the result. My first result is a cartography example, and it's the 4-step process: scrape a GitHub repo, design the infographic, generate the image, and then do the animation. And then I did this, I had the AI generate the prompt and the theme. I said, using your own creativity and knowing the capabilities of this, could you generate one? Now I also have videos, but I'm going to show you the videos because they have audio, so I'm going to play them over here. So this one is really cool. Kraken moves. Each box, let me replay it. Each box gets highlighted, each thing gets animated, all the banana, the motion. Pretty cool, right? And then the Krakens kind of collapse to the ground. Kind of weird. Now the next one that it did, pay attention to the background. Look at the matrix-like background. Look at the floor. Look at the floor in this perfect repeating grid. And the progress bar and the CLI moves and all these things are animated wicked. That's really kind of tricky to do, is to not make a movie and not zoom in and zoom out and do this and do that, but to actually force the AI to animate the subject matter. So I'm going to leave that open because we're going to do some of this. So let me grab that. And again, the whole point of this is for you to say hello to me in the chat and send me your Git repo. Ideally, it has a nice README file, right, that we can base our infographic off of. So, right, put it in the chat, put in your theme. Let's do this together. So I'm going to say, can you make a vibe graphic from in a 1960s space race / Cold War US side theme, focusing on the README to guide the infographic you are creating. Enter. Now watch this. I'm going to maximize this now. Well, I'm in my home directory. Hang on. Let me copy that. I'm sorry, everyone. That's just a misstep. I got too excited. I want to be in this jamming folder with my other examples. All right. Sorry about that. Let's try it again. Beam Rider. So is that a theme? You want me to try Beam? So let's let this load, and then we'll try that Space Race 60 style infographic about my GitHub project. Again, send me your GitHubs. I'd love to try this for other people. That's the whole point of this. And while this generates, we'll watch the first one live, and then I thought we'd peel back the onion and look at the code, because I'm sure you're excited and interested in the code here. Hey, CCIE guy, you made it back. All right. Thanks for joining again and all your support. Like, you're number one all the time to say thank you and good job. So thanks for joining. All right, so let's try this. Can you make a vibe graphic from my Vibe Graphics repo in a 1960s style space race Cold War US side theme, focusing on the README to guide your infographic you are creating? So we're going to vibe fetch, and it read the 10 files and the README preview. And now we're going to plan the infographic. Okay, and you can see the tone here has some things, right? And now what's really cool, we're actually going to get the plan, not just jumping right to the image. You're not going to believe this. It's going to give us a huge JSON payload that we can kind of preview and even review before we generate the image to tweak if we're not happy with it. Easily done is to say, generate the plan, show me the plan, and then, so here we go. Look at vibe plan, the sections, mission overview, right? 4-stage pipeline from the README. It has the palette, colors, the background style and the typography style, the image prompt, that repo information, and we're using Gemini 3 Pro Preview, right? So now it's going to pass that, and we're going to render an image from that JSON spec, all right? We're going to render an image from the JSON spec. Now the image is done. We have the image from Gemini 3 Pro Preview image, Banana 3, affectionately known as. And now we're going to animate that. All right, so if I go to my folder here, we should have a new image. Okay, let's take a look at this. This is pretty neat. So it is that space race style, Cold War style data acquisition. Get it from GitHub, right? Blueprint interpretation, visual synthesis, dynamic simulation, launch. There's the pipeline, and it's got the mission overview, project Vibe Graphics initiative. It's got some made up stuff in here, top clearance. It's kind of folded and rustic. It's got a coffee stain here, top secret, tape drives, the mainframe and the tubes, I don't know. I think that's pretty cool that we've made that infographic from the project. And now it's going to animate that in the next step. Now, I would agree, I'm not saying this is absolutely technically perfect. Where did that go? I would love to have a little bit more, like this has the GitHub scraping, I don't want to give up substance for style. I still want it to convey the information about the project. And this is a little abstract for that. So let's take a look at the video that we get. And I'm going to plug in my headphones to hear it. Okay, that's different. It's got the buzzing sound and the terminal here rolls over. It does go through the pipeline though and highlight the pipeline. It doesn't modify. This is spinning, so that's kind of neat. I'm going to look at little details. The earth here is spinning up here. The launch is changing and launching. All right, not bad, not bad. So again, if you have your GitHub repo, I would love to try one of yours and just see what we get. So that's pretty cool. We get the recap here. Now let's try something else. So I still have that in my, no, I don't want that. All right, so we're going to do the same thing with a different style. Let's do focus on a 4-panel infographic, right, using the README as your source of all words and technical details. Do not make up anything. Use the README and the Python code. In this 4-panel infographic, I would like it to be separated and adorned with medieval themes. Does that make sense to everybody? Before you send this to the pipeline, review the prompt you will use. So let's see if I can use Gemini 3, the CLI, to help me make a bit better of a prompt here. That's sort of the essence of what I want. But let's see if I can get it. So analyzing the prompt review. All right, so it's sort of skipped over that, but let's see what it's going to do here for the medieval theme. I really want it to focus, and I might have to go, so let's let that run, and let's go into the code. And it's really not hard, and I mean that. I mean that in 100% sense of the word. I vibe coded most of this. It really was not hard to build. We're going to have a Gemini extension JSON to tie in with the Gemini CLI, and a Gemini MD that is a child MD. So this is all instructions for the LLM, for how Gemini should use this extension, okay? This is more technical on like the MCP servers that it includes, the context file name, and there you see that Gemini MD file, that's the context file, all right? So the commands are TOML files, and I can just do / whatever, animate. So let's say I already had an infographic that I wanted to animate, or I already had whatever. I can just skip to that process with the / command. Servers is the requirements for the environment, the bash script to set up the environment and run the MCP server, and my MCP server. Now the MCP server, it looks like a lot, but that's because there's a lot of context in here. It's less than 1,000 lines of code. And if I do my @MCP, you're going to see I have my banana generate tool, my VO generate tool, my vibe fetch GitHub tool, my vibe plan infographic tool, and my render image from spec tool. Right, so I have some tools here, and that's the magic, is using MCP here. All right. So let's go back to the pipeline. So it did stop. Here's what it's going to generate. And I'm pretty happy with this. All right, so I'm going to say, yes, that looks good. Again, I do want the focus to be on the information conveyed as much as the artistic spectacle. All right, so rendering image from the spec. It's kind of neat that we actually get that spec, so we could, incorporate that into Git or something and track the actual spec that was used to generate the image. Okay, so the image is done. Vibe render image, and now it's going to start the animation. Let's take a look at this new medieval one. Did I close it? I did. Hang on. I mean, I love the theme. I'm really obviously I'm very happy with the theme. So the decree, Vibe Graphics hath been established to grant scribes, artists, and creators the tools to forge wondrous visual narratives and automated marvels from the ether of data. So I love this. That is accurate. Processes. And look at the moons and everything. Scraping data, which is the inspiration for the design, which inspires the animation. And I see. And then we have the image. So it's kind of goofy. The pipeline's a little messed. This is kind of neat, but it doesn't really reflect the project, which is unfortunate. It'd be really nice when this can actually prerequisites. All you need is a Google API key, CCIE guy. I don't want to roast your project, but if you have a decent README and want to try this, Harash, put the repo in there. To get going, you just need Gemini CLI. You need to install this extension, and then you need an API key with Google. Rituals of summoning. It's too bad this didn't actually just read. Maybe my README is too complicated. That could be it. Maybe I need to simplify my README. But that's not so bad. Now, what's the VO look like? And we're going to listen to this one as well. Okay, not so, it's trying to animate. See, that's, what I liked was this one here. Where it moves through the project and sort of keeps the focus on the project as opposed to the movie style. Something like this is the best one I've seen so far, I think, in terms of the VO sticking with just animating the actual image. Kind of fun, though. Okay, so someone's going to give me a link here to their Git repo, I think. And we'll see how this works for them. I think. Now, let me just try a different project of my own. So that's my Vibe Graphics project. Let's take a look at, let's say, how's Packet Buddy? Is it well documented? Okay, I mean, let's try it. Let's just try this one, Packet Buddy. Just to pick a random one out of the hat. Can you make a baseball 1940s infographic theme for let's just see. Again, this is just a random. My Packet Buddy. The README is very simple, but it should. So let's just see if it picks up the files and if it reads the Python and everything. Okay, so we're going to scrape the GitHub. Okay, so Packet Buddy did get 5 file counts. Did get the README preview. Okay. So that's just a random YouTube or GitHub of mine. Again, in the chat here, if you want to link yours, I'd be more than happy to generate one of these for you if your README and everything's in order. So 1940s baseball program, vintage sports scorecard, visual style, off-white paper, bold theme, pin stripes, diamond layout. Cool, cool. So we're going to get the JSON payload. Again, Gemini 3 is generating this JSON payload through an MCP, the plan infographic. Okay, so it breaks it all down. Has the palette here, background styles, typography style, the image, the repo, and the model. And all that is an artifact. So here we go. Now it's kind of prompting me, do you want to go ahead, render the image, and generate the highlight reel? Yes, please. Right? And this is for my Packet Buddy. Okay, here we go, animating from spec and render image from spec. Keep closing that. Okay, this is cool. I gotta admit, I really like this. Packet Buddy with the baseball hat and it's pinstriped. It's kind of water stained. It looks legit, circa 1947 with the baseballs here. Home plate, right? Upload PCAP. The arrows are in the wrong direction here, but I can live with that. Upload PCAP, pick your model, get insights, ask questions, home run analysis. Docker Compose up. Open your browser, navigate. This is all accurate. Ground rules. This is also all accurate. So that was fun. Now what about the animation? What does it animate here in this one? Let's take a look. So it's got the nice music. Baseball, the check marks here. Okay, all right. Well, I've explored this quite a bit. It's too bad nobody joined with their own repository. Let me just keep poking around here. How about my ACI project? I think it's fairly well documented. No, it's more technical. I mean, I could try it. What about Vision? Yeah, let's try my Vision extension. So it's a different extension than this extension. This was my inspiration. Okay, up next is Vision. Make a, what do you want to do here? Hyper realistic hand-drawn sketch in the style of the classical artists, but retaining the installation steps and how to use this as an infographic. All right, so again, this is my Vision extension, not my Vibe Graphics extension, and I'm just doing this again to pick a random repo of mine out of the hat. Hey Matt, sorry I missed that. Nice to see you too, Matt. And Haresh, I didn't get your Git repo. I don't think you actually shared it. So here we go. 10 files, the README preview, plan the infographic. Code's all open source. It's all out there for you to fork and star and use on your own and install and try it with your own repos if you're not willing to share your repos with me. But this will be the last one I'm going to do. I'm going to wrap things up here. It's about 2:30. Good timing for me to call it a day. And I'm going to keep fine-tuning and playing with the prompt engineering and see if I can improve this in any way. But here we go. So there's this one might be my maybe favorite if it gets it right. Do it in the Leonardo da Vinci sketchbook style on aged parchment. 4 distinct regions outlined by hand-drawn ink borders. Top left, what it does. Okay, all right. So now we're into we should have the image. Okay, this is pretty neat. What it does, Oculus Mechanicus, the eyeball, right? Because it's vision plugged into the terminal. This wondrous contrivance captures visual phenomena and transmits them for analysis and creation. The object transformation, motion capture and animation, ASL, gestural communication. Okay, this one is wicked. This one is really good. With the sketches in the margins and stuff. Under the hood, we've got the camera, MCP server, fast MCP, rapid communication protocol. The internal mechanisms utilize advanced optical computation and high-speed data transfer. The devices, which we start, capture, send it to Banana and VO, and stop. Bravo, bravo. This one is really nice. Now, what's the video going to look like here? Ooh, exciting. I'm really glad I finished up with this one because this is a really, really good one. Oh, no way. Okay, so there's so much going on here. Okay, the video is really this bottom flow. Well, let's focus on the bottom flow here. So it actually flows over and then we hit the stop button. Up here, we see the animation moving, the sign language moving, the eyeball moving up here, the gears of the camera moving, well. That I'm going to call that a success. I like to end on successes. Thank you for joining me. Excuse me. I know I didn't get any public repos from anybody else, but this is all out there for you to try and to use. And I really hope you have a great long weekend. All right, take care, everyone.